Every night, more than 8 billion people voluntarily enter one of the strangest states the human brain can produce. Your body becomes almost completely paralyzed. Your mind creates vivid worlds that don't exist. The impossible feels perfectly normal. Then, just minutes after waking up, most of those experiences disappear forever. It sounds less like rest than a carefully designed illusion. The surprising part is that this bizarre state may actually be one of the brain's greatest evolutionary advantages. History offers some fascinating clues. Chemist Auguste Kekulé reportedly solved the structure of benzene after dreaming of a snake biting its own tail. Years later, Paul McCartney woke up with the melody of times. Yesterday times already playing in his mind. Somehow, while we're asleep, the brain can discover connections that remain hidden during the day. So what are dreams really? Why would evolution preserve a process that fills our nights with strange hallucinations we'll barely remember? The answer begins in a laboratory at the University of Chicago in 1952. Back then, scientists believed the sleeping brain simply became inactive. Eugene Aserinsky decided to test that assumption by recording brain activity throughout the night. What he found surprised everyone. Hours into sleep, the brain suddenly became almost as active as it is when we're awake. At the same moment, the sleeper's eyes began moving rapidly beneath closed eyelids, as though watching an invisible movie. This stage became known as REM sleep rapid eye movement. Whenever volunteers were awakened during REM, they almost always reported the same thing. They had been dreaming. That discovery transformed the science of sleep because researchers realized dreams weren't random events. They occurred during a specific biological state with a very distinct pattern inside the brain. During REM, 4 remarkable things happen at once. First, the brain temporarily switches off most voluntary muscles, preventing you from physically acting out your dreams. Second, the visual cortex becomes highly active, creating images vivid enough to feel almost indistinguishable from reality. Third, activity in the prefrontal cortex, the brain's center for logic and judgment, drops dramatically. That's why impossible situations seem completely believable until you wake up. Finally, the chemicals needed to form long-term memories fall to very low levels, causing most dreams to fade within minutes of opening your eyes. Together, these changes create the most sophisticated virtual reality system nature has ever invented. And it follows a surprisingly precise schedule. Sleep moves through repeating 90-minute cycles. Each cycle begins with light sleep, sinks into deep sleep, where the body repairs muscles, tissues, and the immune system, and finally enters REM, when the brain becomes highly active and dreams are at their most vivid. The balance changes throughout the night. Early sleep is dominated by physical recovery, while REM periods become longer toward morning. That's why the dreams you remember best usually happen shortly before you wake up. Even more fascinating, humans aren't the only dreamers. REM sleep has been observed in many mammals and even birds, suggesting that dreaming is far older than our own species. Long before neuroscience existed, people searched for other explanations. Ancient Egyptians believed dreams were messages from the gods. Thousands of years later, Sigmund Freud argued they revealed hidden desires, while Carl Jung believed they reflected universal symbols shared by all humanity. For centuries, the question was always the same. What do dreams mean? Modern neuroscience asks a different question. Why does the brain need dreams in the first place? And the answers scientists have discovered are far more surprising than anyone expected. Modern neuroscience doesn't point to a single explanation for dreams. Instead, several theories suggest they perform different jobs at the same time. The first is the activation-synthesis theory. According to this idea, dreams aren't secret messages. During REM sleep, the brainstem generates random electrical activity, and the cortex automatically turns those scattered signals into a story. Rather than revealing hidden meanings, dreams may simply be the brain making sense of chaos. The second, and currently the strongest scientific explanation, is the memory consolidation theory. Every day, your brain collects an enormous amount of information. During sleep, it decides what to keep, what to strengthen, and what to forget. This isn't just organization, it's active learning. In one famous study, people who dreamed about a virtual maze later solved it much faster than those who simply slept, suggesting the brain keeps practicing even while we're unconscious. The third is the threat simulation theory. Why do so many dreams involve being chased, attacked, or falling? Evolutionary psychologists believe nightmares function as survival rehearsals. By repeatedly simulating danger and complete safety, the brain may prepare us to react faster when real threats appear. Closely related is the social simulation theory. Modern life is filled with social challenges rather than predators. Dreams often replay arguments, rejection, embarrassment, or stressful conversations, allowing us to rehearse emotional situations before facing them in reality. The fifth theory explains why dreams sometimes solve problems that seem impossible during the day. During REM sleep, the brain's logical filters relax, allowing distant ideas to connect in unexpected ways. That's why discoveries like Kekulé's benzene structure, or melodies like Paul McCartney's Times, Yesterday Times, may emerge only after a night of sleep. Sometimes the dreaming brain is simply more creative than the waking one. But perhaps the most surprising explanation comes from neuroscientist David Eagleman. His defensive activation theory begins with one remarkable fact: the brain is constantly competing with itself. If one region remains inactive for too long, neighboring regions begin taking over its territory. That creates an evolutionary problem. Every night, our ancestors spent 8 or more hours in complete darkness. With no visual input, the visual cortex risked becoming less active while other sensory systems continued working. According to Eagleman, dreams may be the brain's solution. About every 90 minutes, vivid dream imagery reactivates the visual cortex, keeping it busy while the eyes remain closed. Like a biological screensaver, dreams may protect this vital part of the brain from being taken over by neighboring regions. If that's true, dreams aren't just stories we experience while sleeping. They're part of an ancient maintenance system, one that strengthens memory, sharpens creativity, rehearses survival, and quietly protects the brain itself, all before we wake up. So, which theory is correct? Are dreams random electrical noise, a memory system, survival training, a source of creativity, or simply the brain protecting itself? The most honest answer science can give today is probably all of them. Evolution rarely builds a system for just one purpose. If dreams first evolved to solve a biological problem, the brain likely found many other ways to use them. The same process that protects the visual cortex may also strengthen memories, regulate emotions, rehearse future challenges, and spark creative ideas. Instead of serving a single function, dreaming became one of the brain's most efficient multitasking tools. And that's what makes dreams so extraordinary. We've explored distant galaxies, decoded the human genome, and built artificial intelligence capable of remarkable things. Yet we still can't fully explain why every night our own brains generate vivid worlds that feel completely real. What we do know is this: the sleeping brain is anything but inactive. While your conscious mind disappears, billions of neurons continue organizing memories, testing new connections, processing emotions, and sometimes discovering solutions that never appeared during the day. Some of history's greatest ideas may have begun not in a laboratory or classroom, but inside a dream. Perhaps dreams aren't trying to predict the future or hide secret messages. Perhaps they're simply the brain's way of preparing you for tomorrow. So tonight, when you close your eyes, remember that sleep isn't the end of your day. It's the moment your brain quietly goes to work. If you enjoyed decoding one of the greatest mysteries of the human mind, subscribe for more videos exploring the hidden science behind how we think, feel, and behave. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the strangest dream you've ever had, and do you still remember it today?